Was that very echoey or was that just me?
Very echoey.
Good for me.
Right, okay. Anyway, hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. Welcome back to another episode.
That's how you start a live right there.
That is exactly how you start a live. So StreamYard are doing this vertical streaming alongside the horizontal one, which I probably won't be doing again after tonight. But welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the United Community Podcast. And on the back of a frustrating 2-2 draw on the weekend against Spurs. 2 draws in a row now for Manchester United. But we go into the international break on the back of some really positive games and a bulk of games. But we've got plenty to talk about tonight, guys. We're going to talk about the impending AFCON coming up and what it means for Manchester United. We're going to talk a little bit about squad depth as well and what it means once players do leave and go to the international break. We're going to talk a little bit about Sesko as well, his injury. And, you know, obviously there's a lot of comparisons in the media. Chris mentioned to us today about Wayne Rooney when he got injured and so on and so forth. So we'll talk a little bit about that and the unjustification of it. Is that a word, unjustification? Injustice? Whatever.
It is now.
Yeah, it is now. Exactly. We're going to talk about Delors and I suppose the struggles he's had. Martinez going on international duty with Argentina, Maguire, Xerxes, and we're going to talk a little bit about transfers in January as well. How are we doing, guys? All good?
All good.
Happy days. As always, guys, please just smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel and all that good stuff, and get your comments in as always. We're going to start off, of course, with the weekend. Obviously, Chris, you done the live watch along for us, and Oisin, we haven't got your thoughts on it yet. What was your overall opinions on the game and maybe the last? I mean, you haven't been on in a few weeks with us, so give us your overarching opinion on the last few weeks as well.
I would have taken 11 points from 5 games all day long. I think great win against Liverpool. I mean, they always are. I think Saturday kind of showed the first real signs of the togetherness that Chris has been talking about for a couple of weeks. That we went 1-0 up. We thought we were coasting. Then we gave away 2 very soft, in my opinion, very soft goals. But we kept going to the final whistle. You know, we didn't give up. This time last year, we would have rolled over and maybe Spurs would have got a 3rd or 4th. You know what I mean? So I'm happy enough with what I'm seeing that side of things. Obviously, as Amram said in his own press conference, there's still problems there, and they're not going to be easily sorted in the next couple of months or even next year maybe. But how many of us would have taken European football at this point in November? I know it's the Conference League, but it's European football, and we've got a couple of, you would consider them winnable games coming up. And all the top 4 play one another, so someone's going to drop points there. So I can see us being in the top 5 by Christmas. I can. I know I predict us to finish 5th in our predictions before the start of the season. And with what I've seen so far, I don't think it's going to make me change my mind. So I'm happy enough how things are going, and it's solid and it's consistent for the most part. Yeah,
and what did you make on the game on the weekend? Obviously, look, two games back to back where we probably leave 2 points each on the board. Frustration or overall, are you happy?
Overall, I'm happy. I don't want to get into it too soon because it's something we're going to talk about later on, but it just proves the squad depth just isn't there. I've said it a few times. Amram seems to have his first 12 or 13, and then after that, it's just filling holes. And I think that was very evident Saturday. I said it in the chat on Saturday to Chris that Ugarte was a mile off the pace when he came on. I even said, and I went as far as to say that he probably won't be a United player next season. I just don't think I know he's played with Amram before, but he doesn't seem to be an Amram style player. I don't think if Mainly was in the squad, he would have got a game either. He doesn't seem to be an Amram style player, what he's looking for. Dalot coming on. Now, I know we're jumping around here, but I mean, Dalot should be nowhere near that team. And having Dalot and Shaw on the same wing is just asking for trouble. And it just goes to show, again, we'll talk about it in a minute, when we lose the 3 guys who go away in a couple of weeks, our squad depth is 0, really. Even with all the new purchases, our squad depth is 0.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, Chris, let's focus firstly on the upcoming AFCON. Now, it's earlier this year, isn't it? It's the start of December, I think. It's or maybe mid-December.
They pushed it earlier because of the World Cup.
Yes. Now, there has been reports suggesting that United are in talks with Brian Mbeumo's country, is his FA, Cameroon, isn't it? Is he Cameroonian? Cameroonian. With the Cameroon FA, that he can stay for an extra couple of games and maybe miss the warm-up week and I think maybe the first game. But nonetheless, I suppose when we're looking at the last couple of weeks, and if we focus on the last 2 games alone, okay, we've left 4 points behind us in the last 2 games, but we've basically got a full squad, bar the likes of Lisandro Martinez to come back in. How worried or concerned are you when AFCON comes along, when we're losing Mbeumo, we're losing Ahmad, and we're losing Mazraoui, and they all play on that right-hand side, really, don't they?
They do, but I mean, to look at matches, to look at the fixtures, I mean, to look, if you want to look at the fixtures for that, I mean, it's, you're looking in January or in December, sorry. So, we lose, we're going to be playing West Ham. We're going to be playing Wolves. We're going to be playing, where's the next game? Bournemouth. And then right before Christmas, we play Villa. I mean, that's, I'm glad we're playing those teams at that point, because I still think that we can still get a good amount of points from those games, even losing Mbeumo and everything. But I think what has to happen is that, you're going to have to, the likes of your Cunhas or your Seskos or your Mounts, I mean, it's going to be on them. It's going to be on the team, because right now our leading goal scorer is Mbeumo, and I mean, he's far and away our best player at this moment. And that's going to hurt. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Ahmad's been playing well as well, and we're going to lose him. But the question is, it's going to be really interesting, because I've heard some whispers of, well, maybe different lineups. Delot's going to go to the right wing back, or Mazraoui's going to go to the right wing back, and then you're going to have the possibility, which I don't love, Luke Shaw at the left wing back, and then you're going to have Lisandro Martinez at the left center back. I don't know how well that's going to work. I don't love that. If you're going to tell me that Mazraoui is going to play the right wing back and Shaw's going to play the left wing back, and we leave Delot on the bench.
Is Mazraoui not gone? Do you mean Dorgu?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Mazraoui's gone too. That's right. So
it'd be Dargo and Delot pretty much.
It will be, yeah.
And that's and that's going to hurt. But other people are going to have to step up. Whether Mount comes in and plays, and I don't know. I fear in Mount, because when he starts to play consecutive games in a row, that hurts. But then, are you going to, depending on Sesko, is Xerxes going to slide in there? Is Bruno going to slide up? And is Ugarte, or is that the time Manu comes in with Casemiro? Because the one thing we touched on a little bit is that, and I know I'm jumping around, but, Ugarte, and I agree with Ocean, he looks miles off the pace, but I also think that Ugarte is not Casemiro. Casemiro is a midfield general. He reads the game and he positions himself. Ugarte is more of that destroyer, kind of like Baleba, that he's going to run around and try to win the ball. And, he's out of position, on the second goal for, he tried to overrun it, and then the guy turned him on the half turn, and then, that's what started that goal. I mean, that's the way Ugarte plays. But if you have someone like Casemiro that's with him, I think that changes. It's when Ugarte comes in with Bruno, and they're both kind of similar, that they don't have a lot of structure in where they're at. Where Casemiro, where he's going to be. He's going to be in the center of the park. He's going to be doing what he needs to do and defending that. I think that's where, like we always talk about it, the wheels kind of fall off in the midfield when Ugarte comes in with Bruno and everything, because those two don't play together well. They don't match up together well, because I think with Bruno and Casemiro, at least Casemiro is going to stay where he's going to be. And Bruno can freelance a little bit more, where Ugarte likes to freelance and go win the ball and just be the destroyer. And If you don't win the ball, you're going to leave yourself open. So, but with AFCON coming, we play Wolves. That they're at the bottom of the table. We should be able to get 3 points there.
We'll always get caught with their new manager bounce, Chris. We always get caught by Wolves when they have a new manager.
But we don't play there for a while.
And Wolves' new manager.
But we're not. That's not until December. What is that date?
8th.
December 8th. They got games in between. They got games before that. So it's
but we're missing a week with the international break, so that'll be their third or fourth game back. It won't be. It's not miles away.
No, because we play Everton. We have Everton, Palace, West Ham, and then we play Wolves.
Yeah, that's 4 games. I mean, they could still be in the middle of their new manager bounce with Rob Edwards. I mean,
no, new manager bounce is going to last 4 games. The new manager bounce lasts maybe 2 at that point. And let's be honest, I don't care new manager bounce or not. Wolves are not a good team. Period. End of story. I kind of watched them. I watched them over the weekend when they played Chelsea. They can be had. It's just, and I don't think, and it's, new manager bounce. Okay, I'll give you 2 games with that, but I don't. The cream is going to rise to the top, and I don't think Wolves are going to rise to the top. They just don't have it, and I'm more worried about the Crystal Palace game because that's in Selhurst Park. That's not an easy place to play.
It never has been. Even when Crystal Palace haven't been overly strong, it hasn't been a good place for us. But Oisín, let me ask you, in terms of players going to AFCON, and we get into the squad depth in a moment, but are you more concerned about the wing back position or maybe the number 10 positions? Obviously, with Ahmad gone from one and Mbeumo gone from the other.
I'm more concerned.
Because it is a very hard question because they have created such a very good partnership together nearly.
I think we're going to miss Mbeumo more just because of the goals he's scoring. The fact that the thought of the low playing as a right wing back doesn't fill me with a whole lot of confidence. But I think I'd rather keep Mbeumo if I had a choice of sending Mbeumo or Ahmed away. I think I'd rather keep Mbeumo. Just because we said it all last year, we need goals. And I said it as well. It's our goal difference. If we had, we're level on points with third place, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. If we had a couple of more goals, we'd be third on our own.
Yeah.
Now that Mbeumo's starting to score.
Points, is it?
In terms of points, we're level.
No, we're level with 5th. So
Spurs,
Villa. I thought it was the same points. I thought it was the same points. It might have been yesterday. I was listening to a podcast that the 3rd to 8th were level. So
one more point and a few goals, we would have been 4th.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, if we had, so we're level with 5th, do we? So
we're level, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th and 9th are all on the same points.
And what Spurs? I can't read that there. What Spurs goals difference?
Spurs goal difference is 9. Villa's is 3, and ours is 1.
Yeah, we were crying out for a goal scorer, and our leading goal scorer is our centre half and our right side attacking.
In terms of scoring goals, we're right up there. Only Arsenal, City, Chelsea about scorers, and not by a lot, only by 4 at the moment. I think our issue is at back more than anything this season. We had the big issue last year about the ball in the net, but we seem to be seeing goals now this year. When you look at it, 18 is the highest out of anybody in the top 7. By quite some margin. So I think when you mentioned Brian Mbeumo being the one that's going to miss, someone else is going to have to step up to the mark.
Yeah, but do we have that someone else if we're getting the squad depth? Is Xerxes that guy? No. There's talks of, we can't recall Hoyland, can we? Napoli are going to release him back to us. If Sesko's out, okay, he's doing better than other centre forwards who've come into the league, but he's still not where he needs to be for United, in my opinion. I know he's learned the league or whatever else, but he had a couple of chances against Spurs at the weekend that someone of his caliber should be putting away for fun, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him time. I'm not going to get on his back. I'm going to give him time, but he should be kind of knocking those ones in. Or it's like he just doesn't quite understand his position yet. You know what I mean? Maybe playing in front of his own doesn't really suit him. You know, he's got he still has to learn his position and his role in Amram's team. I think. I mean, his knock-ons are great. His creation of the second ball is good. But if I had one complaint, would be he's not scoring enough, and that's everyone's complaint if their number 9 isn't scoring. You know.
Yeah.
Lemens is going to save us points. Just looking at what he's done, I mean, Spurs could have had 3 or 4 if it was not for him, you know. But I think, I'll come back to it again, and it's probably too early. It's probably too early in your pod timeline where you want to talk about this. But the squad depth is going to kill us.
Let's jump into it. Let's jump right into it, because I seen a stat today, Oisín, that when Casemiro has been on the field this season for us, we've conceded 3 goals. Yeah. And when he's been off the pitch, I think it's been 15 we've conceded.
15. I saw the same stat. Yeah,
which is absolutely crazy. Now,
that's crazy.
He's not going anywhere for AFCON, which is a good thing for us. But squad depth in general, obviously, I think it's quite evident to see over the last couple of games that as soon as the substitutions are made, we're nowhere near as good a team.
It's the reshuffle that these players are going to, the holes that people are going to leave, it's the reshuffle that's going to cause. Bruno's going to move to number 10 to replace Mbeumo. I think, because that's his more natural position, which means we're playing either Ugarte or Mainu in there. Mainu, again, probably sees himself more as a number 10. I don't think he's disciplined enough to play the 6, that he's probably more of an 8, really, which is, he's not the 6 that Amram wants. So Amram and Casemiro in the middle, or Amram and Ugarte in the middle. Then you have Dalot playing, and who replaces Dalot then? If Dalot goes down, who's our next choice at right wing back?
Diego Leon or...
Yeah. Well, I think this could actually help Leon. I think we might see Dorgu play on the right-hand side and Leon come in for the left. He'll definitely make the squad for a couple of games anyway.
Can I ask your opinion on this? What about Mason Mount at right wing back?
I don't think he's got enough legs.
No, he has to be either in the middle or playing 10. That's where I wouldn't put it as a wing back.
Okay. I only disagree with Oisín only because, and I know I've harped on it that Bruno's going to move to 10, but I think that you're going to first see Mount go into the 10 and Bruno and Casemiro stay in the midfield at this point.
I think Mount is the first man in now. I think that's Amram's. Yeah. That's how Amram plus Mount. So I don't think Mount's going to start many games, which is why I think Bruno's going to play the 10.
I get it.
And Mount will probably come on for whoever's playing centre forward as a false 9, or they'll rotate the 9 position. I think is what's going to happen. But it's just that we're only losing 3 players, but those 3 players are key for us at the moment, and it's just the reshuffle that causes, and the fear of the players who are coming to replace them, I think is scary.
The one kid that we're missing is, and I've heard people talk about him, is the young kid Montato. Is it Montato? That he's a real young kind of Diego Leon, but he plays more on the right side, because he played in the preseason and he played right wing back in the preseason, and people talk well about him. And they say that he's been up in first team training. So, I mean, that could be another option out there. I don't know enough about him. I don't watch the youth games and everything like that. But
just put this one out there to you guys, completely off the hoof, right? We haven't seen anything of Cheetah Obi this year, and Mainu seems to have kind of stagnated on their Amram a bit. Is there speculation that maybe Amram doesn't trust the youth he has? Maybe that's why he's not playing them through. Just putting it out there, just something I saw today.
I think with this, because last season went so bad, he can't afford to gamble on youth at the moment. He just can't afford to do it. You know, he needs results. He needs results not only for the sake of the club, but for the sake of his own job and his own career on the line at Manchester United. I think if we finished top 5, top 6 last season under him, I think we probably would see a bit more implementation of young players coming through. Cheetah Obi, maybe Diego Leon comes in a little bit earlier, you know, after signing, although that's probably not going to happen given, but, you know, maybe Toby Collier doesn't go out on loan. Sekou Kone comes in, maybe, whatever the case may be, but I don't know.
Just on that point, then does that mean we won't see Leon coming in the few games coming up, and that we won't see? I forget how you pronounce it, Chris.
Montato.
I don't know. Does that mean we won't see these players come through because he's worried about his job?
I don't think he's worried about it. I think I would agree with Jack for the first part of the season, but when it comes to AFCON, I think he's going to have to trust a little bit of the youth. I mean, he's got no other options at this point. I mean, at this point, you look at who's on the bench. I mean, the only viable experienced players you have are Xerxes, Mount, Ugarte, but nobody that can play on the outside and everything. And that's why I kind of heard. I thought of, I've heard people talk about, playing Luke Shaw out in the left wing back when Martinez if Martinez is able to play and I don't think Martinez is going to be able to play 90 minutes until after Christmas. That's just my thing.
Well, here's roughly so, Chris. Why not play Martinez in beside Casemiro?
I mentioned that in our last podcast.
And leave Shaw where he is.
I mentioned that with
Heaven back there.
No, I agree with you. I mean, Jack will tell you last Monday when it was just the two of us. I believe it was then I kind of made that declaration that I think you're going to see Martinez. I could see Martinez being slotted in there next to Casemiro, and then moving Bruno.
Is distribution good enough though? That would be my one fear of it. Is this distribution good enough?
He was heralded as a ball playing center back, so I don't see why not. I mean,
I'll tell you the difference. Now. It's very easy because I played a few games centre midfield at the very lowest of the levels, and it's very different facing the ball all game and being able to play out. It's a very different story when you have to do that all day, and there's players running from this way and the ball is coming from that way. When you're playing centre back, the ball is coming this direction. And that's it. Or maybe a little bit to the side or in your side on. It's a different ball game in there. Your head needs to be on a swivel all the time. Now, is he good enough for that? Maybe. But all of the twists and turns and bends and tackles that you have to put in there as well. And he's just back from pretty much 2 major injuries. I don't know if it's the right idea, to be honest.
No, and I understand that. I mean, I just, it's going to be for me, it's going to be very creative on what he does. Like Oshin said. Do we put Ugarte in with Casemiro? But then, when Casemiro's legs are gone, then who comes in to support him at the 65-minute mark? Because that stuff that we had in Ugarte is now on the field, and then that has to be a menu. I think Sekou Kone, he's going to be gone for AFCON too if he's even in the squad. I don't know if he's in the squad at that point. Like Jack Fletcher, he's the only one that has been really called up. He was on the bench for the game, but he didn't get in the game, and it's going to be interesting, and I don't, and everybody wants to, January does us no good because it's the games in December. We can't dig ourselves a hole in December, playing those,
Right. Well, let me ask you this then, Chris. So when we look at when we look at Manchester United's games, between now, when does AFCON start? Roughly.
Let me find out.
I think they'll leave the teams at the end of November.
They leave at the end of November. Yeah. So all right. Okay. Host nation would kick off the tournament on December 21st. Right. It's late in December.
Wow. I thought it was early December.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what it says here.
January 18th.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, that's
well, that changes my opinion on things.
That changes it a little bit.
But
nonetheless, if we look at when we come back from this international break, now we've got Everton, Palace, West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, and potentially Villa if we can keep Brian Mbeumo for that, given the negotiations that are going on. Oshin, how important is it then that this bulk of games are positive ones? You know what I mean? Like, we're after having a very good block of games now since the last international break. We really need to put points on the board then before players leave.
I think if we can take 14 points from those 6 games, we'll be doing very well. Is my maths okay there?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, out of 18.
Yeah.
So Everton 3, Palace 1, West Ham 3, Wolves 3, Bournemouth
1.
That could be a banana.
Bournemouth or Villa.
Yeah.
I think Villa's a tough one. I think I would say we get at least one I'd say almost 3 out of Bournemouth only because it's home, but they've been a tough get for us too. So I mean, even if you go 1-1 with Villa and playing at Villa Park, and it seems like Villa has started to find themselves a little bit, but I'll be honest. Like,
I think we can afford to lose maximum 1 of those 6 games. I think if we lose any more than 1 there, we're in trouble.
Well, I mean, look, if we given the predictions at the start of the season, losing 1 out of 6 games, I mean, you would take that. Now, obviously, you want a good bulk of wins within that 6 block of games as well. But I want to talk a little bit individually then, guys, because we mentioned Sesko a few minutes ago, and Chris, I'll let you take the lead on this one because you're the one that mentioned it in the group chat. But I suppose some of the criticisms towards him over the last couple of weeks, they seem to be a little bit unjust, in my opinion, to be quite honest. I think it's been quite harsh. I made a video last night on it about Florian Wirtz being absolutely scutter, and there's no, he needs time, but Sesko is not good enough. And you mentioned today that there's a lot of comparisons about he came off injured, but they were mentioning Rooney when he stayed on 20 years ago after he got injured. How unfair is that for a young 22-year-old trying to lead the line? And secondly, is there an argument to say that if this continues, you could drive him down the Rasmus Højlund alley?
Okay, so one, all the criticisms are entirely unfair. The Wayne Rooney criticism, if someone said that to me, I'd smack them in the mouth because that's just blasphemous, number one. And number two, your TikTok or your video was brilliant because it's like, he's a 22-year-old that cost, roughly 70, 80 million, pounds or euros, whatever you want to do, compared to Florian Wirtz that costs like 125, 130. Like Wirtz has done absolutely nothing. And Sesko has actually shown that he's been in position to score goals. And that's the biggest thing for me with Sesko is that he's been in position. Is he a little slow on the trigger? Yes. And I understand that. And I think that's where you have to look at it and say, he's not used to the speed of the Prem compared to the speed of the Bundesliga, where with the Van de Ven goal, maybe that the center backs in Bundesliga don't get back. I mean, Mickey Van de Ven, and let's be honest, he's regarded as one of the best center backs in the Prem right now, speed-wise, defensively, and everything like that. So he made a play. Sesko's got to understand that, and he's got to like either shoot it first time or he's got to step across and let Van de Ven come through him. I mean, those are learning things, but it's different between him and Højlund because for him, he's making the runs and putting himself in position and getting the opportunity. He's just not finishing them, and I think that's going to come. And to be honest with you, and it's just like anything, everybody wants to drag us down, so they want to drag him down and they want to see him fail just so everybody can say, see, they ruined another one. See, they did it again. See, it's all them. I think Sesko he's going to peak at the right time, and I think it's coming. And would I love it to be now? Absolutely. But I think it's coming. I can see positive things with Sesko that, let's be honest, we didn't see those positive things out of Højlund. I don't see the runs that Sesko makes. I didn't see those runs out of Højlund, to be honest with you. I didn't see the movements, the hold-up play, the link-up play, the flick onto Mbumo during the Chelsea game. I don't see those things out of Højlund at that point. So I'm optimistic. Am I upset that he's not scoring? Of course, we all want him to score. Let's be honest. But at the same time, I can see where there's a player there. Now, to be honest, is that a player that's going to score 25, 30 goals a season? I don't know. I can see him scoring a good 15 goals, maybe hitting 20 goals. Like, I don't know if he's going to be that prolific, but I think there's an opportunity for him to be. I mean, and let's be honest, we haven't even tapped into the best part of his game is the aerial game because we don't cross the ball into him. We don't try to find it. We don't try to find him when we cross the ball. It's always like general area where our crosses are so poor that they don't even get to mid-goal where he's at. I mean, what's a 6'5" going to do if you cross it to him in the front post?
Well,
you want him just to flick it on, like what? Find his head.
Well, Oisin, what do you make of what Dee is saying here? Then Sesko will come good, but the one thing I will say is that we need to get players that aren't afraid to try that ball around the back when he makes them diagonal runs instead of resetting. Because we spoke last year about Highland. He got enough chances, and Bruno was the most creative player I think he was the most creative player in the Premier League last season, but he's playing obviously deeper now. Is there an argument there that he isn't getting the same kind of supply maybe as Highland did last year?
I mean, there's no argument there. That's a fact. He's not getting the supply. But I'll go back to Finn's comment before that. If he's only had 5 chances, he's scored 2. That's a 40% return at this point of the season. Can't be angry with that. You can't be angry with that at this point in the season. But I've been looking at, I know obviously I've been on for a while, but I've been watching the games and I've noticed that United do get to a point and they slow the ball down. And I'm wondering, is that an Amarin thing or is that I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I don't know where I'm supposed to put the ball. And is it the fact that I'm looking particularly at Dalot? There was a meme there recently, Dalot crossing the road. It was the first time he looked as he was crossing the season. He just doesn't get his head up. He puts the ball down blind alleys.
He takes the safe option, Oisin, all the time.
The whole time. If that means recycling and Sesko's busting his bollocks inside there to get on the edge of a cross, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to stop making those runs. And it is going to drive. But I think the main difference between Sesko and Highland is Highland was very happy to be out in the halfway line having a fight with the centre backs. And they love that because that meant he wasn't near their goal. Sesko does the opposite. Sesko wants to play in the edge of their box. He wants to play as close to their goal as possible. And that's why I agree with Chris that his time is going to come. Okay, we don't know how bad the injury is. It doesn't sound like a bad one. Amram's presser the last day was he didn't know. But it doesn't sound like a bad one with all the reports coming out.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's a game or two. Am I excited about who's going to replace him? Can't say I am. But, if it's only a game or two, I'll take that. The comparisons to Rooney, just to round that off.
Put another euro in the meter. Are you there, Ush?
I'm here.
Go ahead and say that again.
Yes, go on, go ahead. Your Rooney comment.
All I was saying was comparing Sesko to Rooney, who at 22 years of age had been playing in the league for 6 years and whatever else. I know Rooney wasn't injured at 22 for that game, but Rooney was a different breed at Sesko's age there. And Sesko just doesn't know the league yet, you know. I mean, there was a comment made last week about Amarin costing us with the substitutions. What are you supposed to do? I don't believe that for a second. Casemiro's legs were gone. We needed a focal point in attack.
Yeah,
and then
was on a yellow. Harry Maguire's hamstring was gone.
Was injured. Yeah. So I mean, what's he supposed to do there? And look, it could happen. It could happen to Lemons, and then can they sub a keeper? I think they can they?
You can sub a keeper even after you
lose.
But
I think my point is, if it could happen to De Ligt, it could happen to anybody in a more kind of prominent area at that point in the game, and you just have to get on with it. We just have to move with it.
The one thing I can say about it in doing the game is that maybe you don't have to sub Dorgu for Dalot because maybe you can look at Dorgu and just be like, hey, just relax a little bit. You're on a yellow because you can't. I hate the fact that as soon as someone gets a yellow card, it's like, okay, we're going to have them come off. Like, you have to trust them a little bit. You got to trust them a little bit.
You can trust your player all you want, but all it takes is, the slightest touch, the player goes down, it's a yellow card. Then we're giving out that he wasn't taken off.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there, Oisin. The way the simulation has gone in the game, but also it's so tactical now compared to what it was 20 years ago that they'll just target you. They'll target you. They'll target you. You know, you'll have the manager shouting, "Do not come down our side. Go down his side all game." You know what I mean? It's.
That what you would do.
That's what I do. Look, Ricey will tell you. Look, he's in the chat there. Look, there's the gaffer there now, hammering points. But yeah.
But I mean,
anyway,
like Oisin mentioned, besides that's the only thing I could maybe criticize a little bit is that one. But everything else is, he like Jackson, you needed a focal point. You put him in there. No one knows he's going to get hurt. No one, you can't, you can't foresee that. And he had 2 opportunities before that. He could have, if he slots one of them, we're talking differently at this point. But let's be honest. Like what I touched on with Oisin before, and he touched on it at the beginning of the show of the cast, is that the one thing I love is to get togetherness that we're playing with. Because like Oisin said, we would have lost that game to Spurs 3-1. Instead, we tied 2-2 in the 95th minute or whatever it was at that point. De Ligt with the big header, and I mean, you can't talk. Nobody wants to talk about Matthijs de Ligt but us, because he's just been class. It's unfortunate he had the deflection when Matthijs turned him and everything like that. And
but he's just defending there. There's nothing you can do about that.
I mean, it's just unlucky. That's what I'm just saying. It's just unlucky and everything like that. But at the same time, like you look at it, like you can't ask for any. I mean, you look at that game at the beginning game. He's playing on the right side, and then Maguire has to come off. He's moving into the center, and that's different. I mean, and Jack, that it's like you take a guy that's right center back, and all of a sudden he's going to play the center part. Like your game changes, a little, and everything. And he's doing it masterfully. And like you can't, he's not losing anything, and he's just, and you see him barking out orders, and you see him I know there's been a lot of talk about, if Bruno's gone next season, then the captaincy should be on that man right there.
I agree. And do you know what? I couldn't believe he's only 24.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about, you know what I mean? And how good of a career he's had so far. Yeah, he's captain material. I would nearly put money on it now. He will be Man United's next captain if he stays fit 100%. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Speaking about potential new captains, if Bruno does go, let's talk a little bit about Lisandro Martinez, because today it was announced that he is gone on international break with Argentina. Obviously, he's in, we would hope, the final stages of his rehabilitation from obviously that long injury. But Oisin, I'll go to you first on it. I mean, what's your thoughts on Lisandro Martinez being back and training with the Argentinian squad? Would you rather maybe keep him in Carrington, wrap him up in cotton wool, or do you think it's probably better off that he gets out and gets some proper training?
No, he's got to be in Carrington. He just has to be. I mean, I don't understand this move at all. I was surprised when I heard it. He's not going to play. If he does play, I don't think Cameron would be happy. But I mean, what benefit is it for him to be there in the first place with traveling and everything else when he should be? He's still, as you said, he's not recuperated. He's still recuperating. He's in the final stages, so he's not fully there yet. So I'm a bit surprised about it, to be honest with you. I don't see how it's a good move for anybody involved. And I think it may put back his time in United again by a week or two to recover the travel and stuff.
Yeah. Chris, what's your thoughts on it? Are you on the same boat as Oisin, or are you maybe happy he's...
No, I mean, there's two sides of the coin, and I personally don't love it. I don't like it at all. I think he should be a Carey thing, but I can understand. I don't like it. I can understand why Amarin and the board or whoever makes that decision let him go, because he's going to get better training in like situations, as far as playing and everything like that with the Argentinian squad. From what I heard is like, because it's going to enhance his recovery, because he's going to, get a little bit more, because there's a lot of guys gone. So when you're in Carrington right now, it's going to be a mix of, it's not going to have the same type of training you're going to get at Carrington as you are with the national team. So That's the only positive I can see. But I wouldn't have let him go. I would have said, no, you're not recovered. You're not 100%. Like, there's no way. Like,
is there an argument to say that he will get better training at Argentina or within the Argentinian national squad because international time so many players leave and you're basically training with the reserves? And
well, that's what I'm saying. That's the only point that I can understand. I still don't like it. I still don't like it. I still think that he needs to be, and like Oshin pointed out, the travel time, because it's not like you're going to Europe. You're going 15, 16 hours, even longer, down to Argentina. And, I don't even know where their games are, who they're playing and whatnot. I'm sure it's all in the Kame Bowl and everything like that. So, like, it's not going to be easy travel back. So I don't.
Well, let me ask you this about him then. And let's hope there is no regression, Oshin, with his with his injury. Does he come straight back into the team when he's fully fit?
I think there's a tendency these days that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I think he'll come back to the bench, play a couple of 30, 40 minutes, and then he'll come back in starting. But I mean, there is a tendency these years, every manager does it. They're very cautious with their players coming back. They don't rush them back in. I think if you're on the bench, you're fit enough to start. And I'd rather he started 40 minutes rather than finished 40 minutes, to be honest with you. Chris probably doesn't agree with me, but
I don't disagree with that. I mean, the only thing I can say is that I don't think he's warranted to come right back and displace Luke Shaw that hasn't put a foot wrong at this point, and I mean, he's been playing sound and everything like that. Now, would I like to see Martinez before Shaw? Yes, but I can't sit here and say that Shaw's been a detriment at this point, and so I can't see him coming in and, I mean, I think that Martinez has got to play well enough in training to displace him at this point.
But just following on from that, does that give us another option while the AFCON is on? You play Luke Shaw at left wing back, Martinez behind him, and Dorgu on the other side, and try and keep Delo out of the team as much as you can.
I would agree with that, but I don't know how long Luke Shaw is going to be able to handle that. That's my issue.
Would you play Martinez as a left wing back? He has. I mean, hopefully he still has the stamina to get down that line.
I don't think so. I mean, I think Shaw is a better, because Luke Shaw playing because Martinez was a center back, not a fullback. Playing in a 4-4-3-3 or 4-4-2. Shaw was able to get up and down the wing and put in the crosses. I don't know.
But
and that's
do you
one thing
not
I
think
would like
having
to see out of Luke Shaw is that if he does play left wing back, if he gets the ball on the outside of the 18, he's going to put a cross in, because that's what he does. He's gonna put the ball in the mixer, and that's what I'd like to see. But
I take your point and all that, but would you not like to see the United back three for a couple of years to come in Euro, De Ligt, and Martinez starting?
Oh yeah,
and see how they play it together. Because I think the sooner we get a settled back four with Lemons behind whatever tree he's going to pick, I think the better. I know he'll still probably make his changes at the 60 minute, but I think we're still chopping and changing that back three too much for my liking, even at the start of it. It's still not fully settled.
Is there an argument with Yaro, Oshin, that he's probably just young? Obviously, he's been phenomenal playing with us. You know what I mean? And I think it's fair to say he's probably only had one bad game. Was it the Southampton game maybe last year? Yeah, that he got absolutely rinsed. But other than that, I think he's been playing, not playing sailing, but he's been quality.
But look, if you're good enough, you're old enough. I've always thought that. If you're good enough, you're old enough. He's done last ditch tackles. He's got forward. He's put himself around in the box. He doesn't play like a 19-year-old, which is why I wouldn't be surprised if you did see him play a lot more when Martinez comes back. Because I don't think you can play. I think if you played De Ligt, Martinez, and Yoro, we'd be at least 5 yards further up. Casemiro will be 5 yards further up, which will allow Bruno joining the attack here as well. At the moment, with Maguire starting, we're starting on the back foot 5 yards further back to where we should be, in my opinion.
No, I agree, and that's been the whole. I mean, granted, Luke Shaw played really well and stepped forward against Brighton and made the tackles and everything like that. First time I've seen him do that. but at the same time, I agree with Oshin that the back four, back three, if you want to put Lamens in there, but back three of Martinez, De Ligt, and Euro, the sooner we can get to that and stay with that, I'm happy. Because if you're going to sub someone at 60, 65 minutes and bring Maguire in and then maybe take Euro off or take Martinez off and put Shaw, I don't understand it, but if that's what he wants to do. But I think for the majority of the game, I would like to see that back three, because I think you're going to see immediate results. The only question is, if he decides to play a lower block like we did against Liverpool and not press and not do that, then that's when he tends to put Maguire in, and that's why I thought when we played against Spurs, he had Maguire in there, and I was like, oh, are we going to take the Liverpool approach?
Yeah.
Or are we going to go with the Brighton approach, which he kind of did both. We started off a little bit farther back, but then all of a sudden we started to try to press, and when they started to try to play out from the back, so we were pressing them.
In fairness to Amram, the one thing we can say about him is, and the one thing we've asked them to do was to maybe form a team depending on the opposition. He seems to be doing that in the last couple of games.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say that just proves that it's not the system is the problem, it's the personnel that we have.
Exactly.
Just a lot of people in and out.
Yeah.
I just think that, besides the game on Saturday with, Cunha had a really nice run of play on the goal that we scored. But other than that, he was kind of non-existent. And I don't know why. I need to go back.
It was his worst game for United, I think. I know he's only there a couple of weeks, but I think it was his worst game for United.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was trying too hard.
But that's the thing. But you look at it, but again, you kind of displaced him because he was, at the beginning, he's playing the 9, and he's not playing in the 10 role. So, I think he kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit, where, we weren't, because Ahmad playing at the 10 with Mbumo playing on the left and Ahmad playing on the right side 10, and you had Cunha at the top. I know they kind of all did this a little bit, but I think he wasn't able to get into the game flow quick enough. And I think that's something really important about Cunha, that he needs to get touches on the ball early to get himself going and to get himself, in the game and everything like that. Because when he does that, then all of a sudden he becomes a problem. He starts to dribble and he gets his confidence, and he's going at players and opening up things and everything. And I think that's my issue with it. That's the one issue I had at the beginning of that game, is we kind of put Cunha out there in, I think it kind of hurt his game a little bit, because he wasn't in his natural 10 position at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he's going to have to step up now in the next few weeks once the AFCON starts. But guys, look, finally, before we finish up, I want to talk a little bit about the January transfer window coming up and where we need to maybe invest, where we need to improve, where we need to strengthen. Look, I'll leave it as a general question. I'll go to you first on it, Chris. I think we're all probably going to be in agreement with a lot of it, but what's your thoughts on what we need to do in the upcoming January window?
Are we limiting ourselves to how many? How many transfers are we talking? Are we going to do one or two?
Well, what can we do? Let's keep it realistic.
I've heard reports about Elliot Anderson that he'd be available for less money in January than he is going to be in the summer. So I would like to see Elliot Anderson. I thought he was class when we played against him. I think that he would be able to slot in there and play as what Casemiro does, but play 90 minutes and really can command the midfield. I was very impressed with him because I didn't really watch him. I don't set out to watch Forrest play. Let's be honest. So I liked what I saw out of him because, like what a lot of people had said, we played against Maleba and he put in a bad job. He didn't play well. We played against Anderson and he played really well. He commanded the midfield, so that's a positive. At that point, I would love. It's just I don't think we can get a striker in January. I really don't. I don't see where that could come from. But I would really love to get a midfielder and then a wingback. That's what I would like. I would like to get a wingback just so Delo can sit the bench, because when he comes in, And when I do my watch-alongs, I don't even talk about when Delo gets the ball because I already know what's going to happen.
Hear that, Oisin? Hear that, Oisin? My watch-alongs.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
When I do the watch-alongs for Jack, my bad.
My
But when I do the watch-alongs, it's like
it's when he calls it my channel, you know you're in trouble.
well,
he's after hitting the big time now, so he is.
But the thing is, it's when he gets the ball, you know what he's going to do. He gets the ball in the corner and it goes directly back. There's no chance of him taking a player on and putting in a cross. Even putting in a cross first time, he won't do it. It's just it's like as a defender, if I'm defending Delo, I don't even go out there because I'm like, I already know what you're going to do. Just go ahead and do it. It's not going to hurt me. Just go ahead and pass the ball back, and we're good. You know, and it's just it doesn't matter if he's on the left side or if he's on the right side. The same shit happens. So it's just like I think if we could get a midfielder and a wing back, you know, I think that would be ideal. You know, I really do. But I don't. Again, you know, I don't. You know, there's always. You know, I've heard whispers that they could get Ivan Toney out on loan if they pay his wages. You know, but I don't see them doing that.
I think that is a bit of a mercenary, to be honest with you. If it
yeah,
was
but
me now,
I don't think loans are what we need to be going for anyway.
What's that?
Yeah.
I don't think loans is what we should be looking to be go for.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think Ineos will. To be honest with you, like when you hear the interviews from Jason Wilcox and all that kind of stuff over the last couple of weeks, it seems like look, these guys have got a plan, you know, and if they can't get somebody in January, they'll wait until the summer. Similar to what maybe Liverpool done over the last maybe 7 or 8 years.
Honestly, at this point, if they want to push for European football above Conference League, because I think the way we're playing right now, and if you know we can get Conference League for sure, I think that wholeheartedly. But if they want to push for Europa or Champions League, you have to make a move. You have to do something to shore up the team.
Well, Oisin,
you know what they're planning on all future at that point.
Yeah, Oisin, I'll give you final thoughts on it.
I agree with Chris there and certain things. I don't want to hear we're buying nobody in January because we're going to wait for the summer. That's what happened last year. I think United should be looking to improve in every window, at least one position. If money wasn't an object, a midfielder, probably Anderson or Nottingham Forest if we could get him. I think it'd be a good buy. But if we can't do that, I would rather we signed 2 or 3 squad depth players, which is what we're looking for as well. If we can't get that top tier target, I disagree with Chris that you can't get a striker in January. They just won't be cheap. You can get a striker, but they just will not be cheap. And Ivan Toney is a mercenary. He's not who we need at United. I don't think we'll be going for loans. They've never really worked out for us anyway in the past. If you look at Sabitzer and if you look at Weghorst, and I mean the only one who kind of worked out was Regulon, and he kind of got shafted a small bit by the medical team. I think he's the best loan signing we've had in a while.
No. Let me stop you there now. Who was the African striker we signed on loan?
Ikola, was it?
Igalo. He was dead, Levi. He just loved United so much. You know what I mean?
Was he not a 2-year loan? He was a ridiculous loan period. He was like 2 seasons, wasn't he? He was a ridiculous length of time.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe we all just loved him so much we thought he was here longer than he actually was.
He's not here longer. But look, what I would like us to do in January, as I say, if we can sign a top tier number 6, then spread it across the pitch and get a couple of players in to cover some positions just to give us that depth. I think we're sorely lacking that.
Happy days. Yeah, I agree. Can't disagree with any of that. Right, boys. Good place to finish. Obviously, look.
What do you think?
You got to agree with all the. To be honest, no. Look, what I would say about the January transfer window is that if the right option is available, do it. You know what I mean? But I don't want us to. I don't want us to spend silly money in January and then have none available in the summer for who we actually really want. You know what I mean? I think if you're buying into giving Amram what he wants and giving him a long-term plan and a long-term project, and you can't get who he wants in January, just hold the line. You know what I mean? Just hold on. You know, let's try and graft out European football and give him the proper midfield then that he needs in the summer, to attack it then again next season. You know what I mean? That's what I would do. But anyway, guys, look, I appreciate it as always. We may or may not do another podcast next Monday night because it's international break, and Chris is from the US, so their team is shit, and we're from Ireland, so our team is even more.
We don't really have to do anything because we're already in.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and well, we have to play.
We're already out, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're already out.
Is Ireland already out?
Well, we're not.
We're more or less. We have to beat Portugal and Hungary to kind of get there. So yeah, we're more or less already out.
Yeah, we are out. We will not be going to the World Cup unless Chris wants to maybe sponsor a couple of Irishmen to go over and watch a different team. Me and Ushin are absolutely available, no problem at all. Yeah. But anyway, boys,
don't tell my wife.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, boys, I appreciate it as always, and I'll chat to you during the week. All right.
You got it.
Be good,
gentlemen. Appreciate it. Thanks to everybody else for watching, guys. If you haven't already done so, please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers, and with your help, we can get there. So please do that. Plenty of content coming up throughout the week as well, guys. I'll have a couple of pre-records coming out midweek as well. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Casemiro in one of them and the importance of him to this Manchester United side. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll chat to you on the next one. Take it easy. Good luck.